So I get asked all the time, what's the difference between all these mowers? We got several different brands, we got different colors, but they're all virtually put together the same. You know, they've got a motor on them, and they've got two transmissions or pumps or drive mechanisms that drive the rear wheels. You know, and you know, belts and blades and all that stuff. So not a whole lot to them, but there's a lot of differences in a cheaper lawnmower going up to a more expensive lawnmower. So it's all going to depend on how much you're mowing. If you're just mowing a small yard or up to maybe a half acre or something like that, this dash would work for you. It's going to have easy T transmissions on them, which the transmissions are made by Hydro Gear on probably 95% of the mowers out here. And there's different ranges of transmissions on each machine. As you go up in caliber of machines and price of machines, you're going to go up in, you know, the heaviness of the frame. You're going to go up in the heaviness and durability of the transmission. You're going to go up into different things like options, better seats, you know, heavier decks, things like that. So, you know, so for example, like the Dash and the Raptor from Hustler, they're going to be similar because they're going to have Hydro Gear Easy T transmissions on them, which mean, and the transmission that drives this machine is an integrated pump transmission. So it has self-contained oil in it, and that's a drive unit. So you'd have one on this side and you'd have one on the other side that drives this the rear wheels. So if you pull the handle on this one back or forth, this unit right here, this transmission, is going to turn this wheel. So on the less expensive machines, they're going to have smaller transmissions, of course, smaller frames, smaller everything. And the Easy T transmission is not serviceable, which means it's a sealed unit. You don't pull it apart, you don't service it, you don't change the oil in it. You pretty much run it through the life of the mower. Now, the next step up would be a serviceable transmission, which would be into the next series up, like when you go to the XD. So they have serviceable transmissions which have spin-on oil filters. You can change the oil on them, you can service them, and they're just heavier axle size, and that's going to be able to carry a larger wheel, and tire. And that's the thing, when you go to the smaller transmissions, you've got smaller components, they're not as heavy, they have smaller axle size, which means they can't put big old giant tires on there. Some of them aren't going to have armrests. Most all of them nowadays are going to have an hour meter on it, which is good to have. But when you go up to this one, you'll go to serviceable transmissions. You can see the decks. The decks get heavier. They have this doubler on the bottom to reinforce that deck. It's going to have bigger tires, bigger wheels, serviceable transmissions, and high back seat, you know, armrests and all that stuff. And so looking at the different mowers, you know, you got different brands and you've got different motors too. So, you know, the majority of the motors that we sell in stock out here are going to be Kawasaki. We've had super good luck with Kawasaki. There are some other brands out there that are really good too. You know, we've got Kohler. We've got some different options on different manufacturers. So going from the smaller units with the Easy T transmissions up to the larger unit with a serviceable Hydro Gear transmission, you know, I mean, you're going from probably just in ballpark, you know, $4,000 range on your small homeowner. You're probably going under $6,000 when you get up to these bigger machines. These are going to have ZT 2800 pumps on them from Hydro Gear, most of them. And it's just a heavier pump, serviceable. So the next step up over this machine, let's say, and as far as what people are mowing, on the little ones with Easy T, if you're mowing an acre and a half or something like that, an acre, you know, typically that's okay. If you go up 2 acres, you know, acre and a half over 2 acres, something like that, 3 acres, maybe up to 4 acres, you can go up to one of these heavier machines with the better transmission. So a lot of the differences between your cheaper machines and your more expensive machines, or as the price goes up, you're getting better components. So it's good to have a better pump because it can run longer. And the longer you run it, if you've got 15 acres and you're going to go buy a $3,000 or $4,000 mower to mow that all the time, you're going to be putting so much money into it, and it's just not smart to do that. So spend the money up front and get exactly what you need. So it's all going to boil down to basically how much you're mowing. So, 3-4 acres, that's fine. If you want to go up a next step, go into something like this from Gravely. It's an HD series. So this unit is it's almost like a commercial unit, but we sell these to homeowners all the time. But you can see how it's built. The frame's just a lot heavier. Everything about it. The seat's better. Padded armrests. It's got just a lot heavier. So, I mean, if you look at the unit, how it's built, I mean, just the deck alone, how it's hung, everything is just rock solid. This thing's built like a Sherman tank. And it's very smooth. So the other thing about going up in units and going up in transmissions, it's going to be smoother to drive. So if you go with a little $3,000 machine, it's going to be kind of herky-jerky when you're doing this. So that means you got to move it more to move, and it's going to be wanting to go like that. So in all honesty, the bigger transmissions, the bigger units are going to be easier to drive. So, and easier to maneuver. So like on a, when you get up to something like this, and this HD has ZT3100 pumps from Hydro Gear, and those are commercial grade pumps. So this thing is really more of a commercial machine, kind of a commercial homeowner, really, because it has a standard Kawasaki on it. It doesn't have the full-blown commercial Kawasaki motor on it. But these are going to be right under 7 or around 7. But you can get something like this. Some of these are around $160 a month, 0% for 48 months. So looking at, the Gravely HD series, this machine is right under $7,000 without, without tax and setup on it. You can do 0% on most everything here for 48. Most everything is 0 for 48. Your payment on this would be $160 a month. That's 0 down, 0% with approved credit.